Good morning everyone. So today we will be reading about, in the types of coagulants, we will be reading about sodium aluminate. Okay. So in the previous slide we have read about the necessity of the sedimentation with coagulations and what are the principles of sedimentation with coagulations and what are the types of coagulants. Okay. So we will give a quick review on this. As I have already told, in the necessity of the sedimentation with coagulation, very suspended clay particles are not removed by the plain sedimentation. Okay. And the silt particle, that is 0.06 mm size, it requires 10 hours to settle in the sedimentation tank, and 0.02 mm particle will require about 4 days for settling in the tank. And in addition to fine suspended matter, water also contains electrically charged colloidal matter which are continuously in motion and never settle down due to the gravitational force. And when the water contains such fine clay particles and colloidal impurities, it becomes necessary to apply such process, and this process it can be easily remove them from the water. So next I have discussed about the principles. So in the water certain chemicals have been added to the water because they are insoluble, and gelatinous flocculent precipitation is formed, and this gelatinous precipitate during its formation and descent through the water absorb, and also the gelatinous precipitate therefore has the property of removing the fine and the colloidal particles quickly and completely than by the plain sedimentation. And the main advantage of this is to remove the color, odor, taste from the water. Okay. So next we have discussed about what are the types of coagulants. I have also discussed in a previous slide about the aluminum sulfate, that is aluminum sulfate is also called as alum, and this alum is available in the market, which is the color is of that is dirty grey solid, and it is present in the form of a LOMS which contains about 17% of aluminum sulfate, and this is the chemical coagulant which is used for the water treatment process, and the amount of alum mainly depends on the turbidity and the color of the water. Okay, and the dose of the aluminum which is used in the water, it varies from 5 mg per liter for relatively clear water and about 25 mg per liter for very turbid waters, and the average dose is about 19 mg per liter. Okay, so this is all about aluminum sulfate. So now we will be discussing about sodium aluminate, that is Na2Al2O3. So sodium aluminate is known as alkaline compound, and this sodium aluminate can be used for the treatment very easily in the water treatment process because it has no alkalinity, and it reacts very quickly and forms the precipitate of aluminum hydroxide. Okay, so this is about sodium aluminate. So next, that is ferric coagulants. So what do you mean by ferric coagulants? Ferric chloride, that is FeCl3, and ferric sulfate, that is Fe2SO4 3. If we mix these two coagulants, it will this mixture is mainly used for the coagulation purpose, and it is used in the water treatment process. Next, we will be reading about chlorinated copper. It is a mixture of ferric chloride and ferric sulfate prepared by adding chlorine to a solution of ferrous sulfate in the ratio of 1 part chlorine to 7.9 part copper. It is very good coagulant and requires less amount of alkalinity in the water for the flow formation. The produced flow is tough and easily settles, due to which only small residue goes in the filters, and this coagulant removes color very well. Okay, so this is all about chlorinated coppers. So if we mix the ferric chloride and the ferric sulfate and we will add some chlorine to it, the solution of ferrous sulfate is in the ratio of 1 part chlorine to 7.9 part copper. Okay, and it is very good coagulant which requires the less amount of alkalinity in the water, and this coagulant mainly removes the color very well and easily settles, due to which the small residue goes to the filtration process. Next, we will be reading about ferrous sulfate and lime. Ferrous sulfate, that is FeOH3, is the flocculation which causes sedimentation. Ferric coagulants are the good oxidizing agents due to which this also remove the hydrogen sulfate, taste and odor from the water. And these coagulants are generally used in the treatment of sewage. Ferrous sulfate, that is FeSO4 into 7H2O, is commonly used in a coagulation. It is cheaper than alum and gives the good results above the pH value, that is 8.5. And the quantity of the ferrous sulfate as required is more or less than same as that of the alum. Okay, so we can say that ferrous, that is FeOH3, is the flocculation which causes sedimentation, and ferric is one of the coagulant and it is also called as good oxidizing agents which helps to remove the hydrogen sulfate, taste and odor from the water. And these coagulants mainly used in the treatment of sewage. And ferrous sulfate, that is FeSO4 into 7H2O, is commonly used in a coagulation. It is cheaper than alum and gives the good result above the pH value, that is 8.5. And the quantity of the ferrous sulfate is more or less than that of the alum. Okay, so this is all about the types of coagulants. So now we will be reading about flash mixture. So flash mixture, what do you mean by flash mixture? Okay, flash mixture is a type of a device where the solution of coagulants is mixed thoroughly in the water by means of a fan operated by the electric motor suitable drive. Okay, and the water enters in through the inlet. The deflecting valve deflects the water towards the fan blades where the chemicals also reach through chemical pipe, and the rotating fan mixes coagulants with water which finally goes out of the outlet. Okay, so flash mixture means what? Flash mixture is a type of a device. You can see here the flash mixture diagram. It is one type of a device where the solution of the coagulants are mixed thoroughly in the water by means of a fan which is operated by the electric motor, and once the water enters through the inlet, the deflecting valve deflects the water towards the fan blades. Okay, and where the chemicals also reach through the chemical pipe, and that rotating fan mixes the coagulants with water which finally goes out from the outlet part. Okay, so this is known as flash mixture. Okay, here you can see the inlet, the water enters, and the deflecting valve, this is, you can see the deflecting valve where the water deflects towards the fan blades. This is the fan blades, and where the chemicals also reach through the chemical pipe, and the rotating fan, this rotating fan mixes the coagulants with water and finally goes out from the outlet part. Okay, so this is known as flash mixture. Next we will be reading about flocculation. So after thoroughly mixing of coagulants in the water, the next operation we will be doing, that is flocculation. So what are known as flocculators? Flocculators are slow steering mechanisms which forms flow. Flocculators mostly consist of paddles which are revolving at very slow speed of about 2 to 3 rpm, that is revolution per minute, and the paddles may revolve on a vertical or a horizontal shaft. The flocculators provide the number of gentle contacts between the flocculating particles which are necessary for the successful formation of flow. In one type, there are number of compartments fitted with the rotating paddles, and the water enters from the inlet and leaves through the outlet, and the detention time for the best result should be between 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, so we can say that this is flocculation, means after thoroughly mixing of coagulants, the next operation we will be doing, that is flocculation. And what do you mean by flocculators? Flocculators are the slow steering mechanisms which forms the flow, and it is mostly consist of the paddles which can revolve a speed at a very slow speed, about 2 to 3 rpm, that is revolution per minute. And you can see here the diagram of revolution per minute, that is per minute it will be rotating, and this is the flocculators, and here it is the paddle. The paddle may revolve on a vertical or a horizontal shaft, and here you can see it as inlet where the water is entering, and here the outlet, the water is coming out, flowing out, okay. And the flocculators mainly provide the number of gentle contacts between the flocculating particles which are necessary for the successful formation of the flow. And the water enters from the inlet and leaves through the outlet here. And the detention time for this is mainly 30 to 60 minutes. So next we'll be reading about advantages and disadvantages of flocculators in the next slide. Thank you.